Greeting ladies and gentlemen, I'm Karen Chiang Ying, matrix number 261217. Today I'm going to present about my online portfolio lesson plan. So the case that I received is case 8 regarding the Nestle South Africa leading multi-stakeholder partnership response in a COVID-19 context. Before we get started, let me bring you guys recall about the history of Nestle. Nestle is the world's largest and most diversified food and beverage company. The company employed 339,000 people in their company. Also, Nestle sold their product over 190 countries. In the case, we will be focusing solely on Nestle ISA. Nestle ISA stands for East and Southern Africa region. And Nestle ISA is comprising of 23 countries and based on Johannesburg. Alright, let's move on to the key protagonists. In this case, the key protagonist is Bruno Olihoff, the chairman and managing director of Nestle ISA. While there are two supporting roles in the case. First one, Ravi Relay is a former employee of Nestle ISA. Currently, he works as an advisor of Olihoff for the Food Forward Partnership. The second supporting role in the case is Nicole Rose. She is a senior executive team member appointed by Olihoff, and also she is the internal coordinator to manage the funding. Currently, Olihoff is facing a dilemma. He is doubting what other opportunities might exist to accelerate the CSV project in rural community during the COVID-19. The company is facing a limited resources, but they need to provide CSR project to many stakeholders. And what is CSV? Creating share value is about sustainability delivering on shareholder expectations while helping to address global societal challenges. In Nestle, they aim to unlock the power of the food to enhance quality of life for everyone today and for generations to come. There are three applicable theories of the model in this case. First one, stakeholder theory. Second, triple bottom line. And last, Carroll CSR theory. Shall we move into the first theory, the stakeholder theory? Stakeholder theory is a theory of organizational management and business ethics that account for multiple constituencies impacted by the business entity. There are two categories of stakeholders, which are the internal and the external. The example of internal stakeholders are employees, management, and the owner. While suppliers, government, society, creditors, customers, and the shareholders are the example of external stakeholders. Stakeholders theory holds that organizations and corporations should strive to do right by all these stakeholders. In contrasting to the stakeholders theory, shareholders theory only emphasizes on the welfare of the shareholders. However, under the stakeholder theories, the needs and the interests of the various stakeholder groups simply cannot be reconciled equitably. Certain groups of stakeholders will hold more power or influence than others, which can create tension and discord. Therefore, under normal circumstances, the stakeholder management plan should be created, which it details each group shareholder expectation and the rules for communicating with stakeholders. In the COVID-19 context, Nestle should prioritize the stakeholder based on their level of influence on the project and how much they care about the outcome. Next, we proceed to the second theory, the triple bottom line. Triple bottom line is a sustainability-based accounting method. This method illustrated the environmental, financial, and social, which can create the environmental responsibility. Social is also known as people. It measures business impact on human capital. Similarly to the stakeholder theory, it focuses on both shareholders and stakeholders. The social aspect recognizes the interdependency, human relationship, and interaction that enables a company to operate. The second aspect, financial. In layman terms, it is referring to the profit. However, unlike common CSR theory, it broadens the scope to all the community. It aims to stimulate the economic growth and create wealth. For instance, the business may compensate employees fairly, support local suppliers, generate innovation, and pay the fair share of taxes. The third aspect, the environmental, it is referring to the planet. It aims to reduce the carbon footprint, consumption, waste, and emission. The company may use renewable energy resources, reduce energy use, dispose of toxic materials safely, and adopt a host of green corporate policies. The benefit of triple bottom line is by including the social and environmental in addition to a company's financial capital. One can get a more accurate picture of a company's greater impact on society. Engaging a business model with triple bottom line will ultimately lead to the increased resilience and cost saving, decrease the organizational risk. The triple bottom line is essentially a reporting system. Of itself, it does not actually improve the company's impact on people, environment, or profit. Therefore, this theory is not viable during COVID-19 context. The limited resources denied Nestle to provide social responsibility to every aspect. Right now, let's proceed to the third and also the last theory, Carroll's corporate social responsibility pyramid. In this theory, the author suggests that four kinds of social responsibility, which are economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic. These four components of a CSR can be depicted as a pyramid. Historically, the business is establishing to maximize its profit. Before anything else, the business organization was the basic economics in our society, so it builds the fundamental of Carroll's CSR pyramid with the economics. While under the legal responsibility, the management of the company has to adhere to the law and compliance laid by the society and the authorities related to the nature of the business and its business operation. For instance, performing in a manner consistent with expectations of government and law, compliance with various federal, state, and local regulations, conducting themselves as law-abiding corporate citizens, and also fulfilling all their legal obligations to secure stakeholders. Under the ethical responsibility, it are at the discretion of the management and are not required for the company to fulfill, but they are expected by the society. For instance, performing in a manner consistent with expectations of societal morals and ethical norms. Recognizing that business integrity and ethical behavior go beyond mere compliance with law and regulation, and also preventing ethical norms from being compromised in order to achieve the business goal. The last aspect, the philanthropic. It guides by business desire to participate in social activities that are not mandated, not required by law, and not generally expected in business in an ethical sense. The examples of philanthropic activities are volunteering in various community programs, corporate contribution, and fundraising in social issues. Nestle must attend to the economic, legal, ethical, and philanthropic responsibility in that order. However, Carroll's CSR pyramid is suitable for long-run sustainability but not relevant for COVID-19 context as it is unpredictable event. Every business is faced with navigating the new economic landscape for its long-term survival. There are also short-term challenges for other businesses. Therefore, the seventh option is combating the spread of the disease for Nestle. Finally, it's come to the end of the presentation. As a conclusion, stakeholder theory should be taken into consideration. According to the theory, Nestle should prioritize stakeholders based on their level of influence. Therefore, in a COVID-19 context, priority should be given to the most essential and needy people such as medical staff, military force, caregiver or volunteers, and the COVID-19 patient. As for the rural communities, Nestle may know that some necessities such as masks, food, to avoid them to hang out frequently. At the same time, Nestle may raise their awareness by educating them the spread of COVID-19 and the hygiene procedure, while the other CSR projects should be done after the COVID-19 period due to the uncertainty. That's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening. Stay safe, stay healthy.